Alright, I'm doing a video test with this camera. Got a GoPro 5 Black. Put a ND8 lens filter on it. It's a filter that snaps over top of it. Just hit the trailer with my knee. It's a filter that snaps over the lens. It kind of darkens it up. It's supposed to affect the shutter speed and smooth it out. You can notice the smoothed out stuff on the fan on the air conditioner. But ISO 400 was making it too dark. ISO 800 seems to give it enough room to keep the shadows with enough contrast, but without being really black. It looks very close to like real life. And with the color set to 6000K, the greens of the plants look exactly like, or as close to they can look as they do in person, without making the sky less blue. So overall, this is pretty good. I have to fix the wind noise. I got a couple ideas for that. But yeah, just checking it out, seeing what's up. Because this shadow stuff right here is like stuff we run into all the time, with like little spotlights of sunlight coming through the trees. Alright, so in this test, all the color settings and everything are the same, but I switched it to 30 frames per second, and the air conditioner stopped. 24 frames per second is what motion pictures are usually filmed in and displayed at. 30 frames per second is what most TV programs are filmed at. Eat a bag of dicks. So the 30 frames per second gives it more of a, like I said, a video TV appearance. You could say more realistic type appearance. 60 frames really amps that up. I'm not sure yet how they affect the stabilization, which I don't really like too much so far. But they're definitely going to be better than 24. But 24 will give you more motion blur and more of that cinematic type feel to your footage. Alright, in this clip, all the color settings and ISO are the same. I've just switched to 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second is really smooth looking. If you're going to do some slow-mo, you want to probably be at least at 60 frames per second, because you could slow down halfway and still be at the 30 frames per second standard. I don't know if, I mean, you can see, especially when I come up to this, how smooth it looks, but I don't know if it's something I'll use. Alright, this last one is 60 frames per second. All the exposure settings are the same, but I changed the white balance. Instead of 6000 Kelvin, I changed it back to auto. So it seems to add a much more blue tinge to the video. On the one hand, it's kind of like what you're more used to seeing when watching YouTube videos of people with action cameras, because a lot of people just leave it. But the greens of the plants and everything are off from how they look in real life. The sky looks nice. Here, you can really see the kind of a bluish tint on these plants here. Here, I'll cut that in and do that slow motion right there. half speed. Yeah, so the half speed from 60 frames per second looks pretty cool. Obviously, if you recorded at 120, you could get super slow-mo. You could go to like 1/4 speed, and it'd still be 30 frames per second, pretty smooth. All right, well, that's gonna wrap this up. Starting to lose the light here.